Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Swayambhu Manu's son Uttanabhada and the story of Dhruva and Prithu. Uttanabhada had two wives, Suniti and Suruchi. Suruchi, the younger, was the more beloved to him, and she had never liked Suniti, who was gentle and caring, but not of a wealthy background. One day, seeing Uttama born to Suruchi, seated on father's lap, and like any child of his tender age, Suniti's son Dhruva went to sit on the father's lap. Suruchi rudely said to Dhruva in the presence of Uttanabhada that he was not of noble lineage and born to her, and so not qualified to sit on the king's lap. She advised Dhruva to propitiate the Almighty God to be blessed to deserve such a seat on the king's throne. On hearing what happened, Suniti too advised her son to go on meditation and seek God's blessings. Now, Dhruva's meditation. Dhruva met Narada on the way to the forest, and abiding by the sage's advice, the 5-year-old proceeded to Madhuvana forest near Yamuna river. After a purificatory bath in the Yamuna, Dhruva followed strict austerities with mind fully focused on the Almighty, repeating Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He survived on fruits taken only after every 3 nights for the first 1 month. Then, having withered grass and leaves every 6th day for the next 1 month. And during the 3rd month, in deep meditation, unaware of anything around as in a samadhi, surviving only on water, that too every 9th day. And in the 4th month, controlling and holding the breath by inhaling only once every 12th day. Even of the 5th month saw the child motionless, standing on 1 foot. It is said that the earth pressed by his toe tilted to one side. Sri Hari appeared on Garuda and blessed him to rule his father's kingdom for 36,000 years with uprightness, after which he would find a special place for himself above the stellar region as Dhruva's star. Meanwhile, a repentant Uttanabhada and mother Suniti, as well as stepmother Suriji, were delighted to hear from Narada that their son Dhruva was returning home. The elated parents and stepmother gave him a royal welcome, accompanied by elephants, trumpets, musicians, decorations, festoons all over the pathways. The elated parents and stepmother hugged him even as he respectfully prostrated before them. Uttanabhada handed over the kingdom to Dhruva, who had come of age to become the ruler. Uttama, while on an expedition, met his end at the hands of a yaksha. Suruji, Uttama's mother, who had gone in search of her son, was consumed by a forest fire. Uttama's killing resulted in Dhruva taking revenge on yakshas, that is Kubera's men, by using Narayanastra, but later relented after receiving advice from father on the principle of destiny playing its role, and Uttama's end was as ordained. When Dhruva got over his outrage, Kubera, lord of Yakshas, appeared and offered any boon that Dhruva could ask for. Dhruva, now serene and composed, only sought uninterrupted devotion to Sri Hari, and so was blessed to be so by Kubera. Even then, Ever since then, Dhruva became an ideal ruler with mind full of thoughts of the Almighty Lord Sriman Narayana. Dhruva reached the stage for renunciation and took to abstract meditation at Vishala near Badrikashrama, that is present Badrinath, after a holy dip in Ganga. Then there came in a heavenly chariot Sri Hari's two attendants, the four-armed resplendent Sunanda and Nanda, to escort Dhruva to the abode of Sri Hari, above all the three worlds and the realms of seers and ascetics. Dhruva became as blessed, the Dhruva star in the region around which the planets, including lunar mansions, sun, moon, and stars, all revolve. Dhruva had handed over the rulership to Utkala, born to his wife Ila. He was, however, uninterested in becoming the ruler. So, Dhruva's another son, Vatsara, born to another wife of his by name Brahmi, became the ruler. Ila was the daughter of Vayu, while Brahmi was the daughter of Swisvamara, a Prajapati. Vatsara became the Samvalsara, marking 1 year, and married Swarviti, who presides over the Milky Way. Further down their lineage arose Prabha and Dosha, marking daytime and nighttime respectively. And then came the dawn and dusk, morning and evening, midday and midnight. In other words, these names and concepts originated from Dhruva the star. In Dhruva's lineage came Chakshu, who became the Manu in the 6th Manvantara, that is the Chakshusa Manvantara. And it was in his lineage that Anga, Vena and Prudu came. Vena, born to Anga, though a scion of Dhruva, as a ruler wreaked havoc, harassed and killed Brahmanas, sages and innocents, plundered and looted, sought women's company. The much harassed rishis cursed the evil-minded Veda into a lifeless body. But later, for the sake of getting a ruler, they churned his thigh into human form that became the Nishadha, who had all the bad traits of Vena, and so was the progeny named the Nishadhas. The rishis then churned both the arms of the lifeless body of Vena, from which arose the divine Prithu. Prithu, a manifestation of Sri Hari, married Arsi, manifestation of Sri Lakshmi. Prithu, the emperor, born in the line of Dhruva, was the first to make the land, that is Mother Earth, to yield all the necessities for the kingdom by way of milking Mother Earth in the form of a cow. And thus it was that rishis got all their articles needed for their yajnas and sacrifices. The people got cultivated land yielding grains such as paddy, and the people at large had flowers and fruits and vegetables, everything that they needed. And the cows yielded plenty of milk, and thus it was a prosperous kingdom that Prithu ruled for a number of years before he retired to the forest to seek salvation. Narayana, 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 Yoga Samastha, Sugino Bhavantu.